This is Mac OS Ken.
Circle next Tuesday in ink. Googlers are going back to the office, and tales of Apple hardware in Russia. It is Thursday, the 3rd of March, 2022. I'm Ken Ray, and this is news from Mac OS Ken, brought to you by yours truly and sponsored by Notion. One workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. This show is also sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. You know what hasn't been easy? The past 2 years. There was COVID-19, political unrest, social unrest, and a lot of this stuff, by the way, hasn't gone anywhere. If it's gotten to you, if it's getting to you, or if you just want to check your head, you may want to check out BetterHelp. BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. You start by filling out a questionnaire, which is great for a couple of reasons. First, if you're like me, it helps you focus on what it is you want to work on, and second, it helps them find the right therapist for you. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Give it a try and see why over 2 million people have used BetterHelp Online Therapy. As I said before, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp, and macOS Ken listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. BetterHelp. That's betterhelp.com/macOSKen. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. And thanks to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's show. By now, you have heard the big news for the 8th of March. There is a new activity challenge for Apple Watch. I'm kidding. I mean, there is a new Apple Watch activity challenge for the 8th of March, but the big news is that Apple is holding a socially distanced media event to talk about something. TechCrunch was among the many sites spreading the word on Wednesday that Apple had sent out invitations to a thing that either nobody can go to or everybody can go to, depending on how you think about it. The announcement itself is pretty simple. It features a black field with an Apple logo on it. That logo kinda looks like a tunnel, replete with Apple's rainbow colors of old. Under the logo are the words peak performance, which one assumes is a play on words. While that term spoken would sound like speaking of the height of performance, the spelling PEEK implies getting a short look or a first look at something heretofore unseen. Expanding a tiny bit on the information art, Apple's senior VP of marketing, Greg Joswick, hit Twitter with a short, sleek video that featured a bare, dark stage. Bare except for a floating AR Apple logo. The tweet included the message, peak performance, March 8th, see you there, #Apple event. As for what we'll see, we've talked about that a time or two. The guy who originally pegged the 8th of March date, Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, has said he's expecting a 5G-enabled iPhone SE, an updated iPad Air, and maybe some sort of Apple Silicon-powered Mac. Of course, it is an Apple event announcement, and people can't help trying to read between the pixelated lines. A piece from 9 to 5 Mac suggests the peak performance tagline could be referring to the possibility that Apple provides a teaser look, or peek, at one of the new ultra-powerful Mac Pro or iMac Pro models, even if they aren't ready to be shipped. They also put out the possibility of a peek at Apple's AR, VR, MR, XR multiverse headset. The site does just as quickly kill that idea, though. The way they see it, unless Apple has a major surprise in store, this seems unlikely. The latest reports indicate that Apple's headset won't ship until the end of this year at the earliest. Furthermore, any sort of teaser or preview would likely happen at the developer-focused WWDC because Apple needs developers to adopt its Reality OS platform in order for the headset to be a success. As it has done for the last several event announcements, Apple did add a touch of augmented reality flair to yesterday's heraldry. A piece from Mac Rumors says if users hit Apple's events website at apple.com/events using an iPhone or an iPad, they can have the same tunnel-esque Apple logo featured in the Jaws Twitter post, floating in their own home or office or wherever the heck they happen to be. To access it, Mac Rumors says, tap on the colorful Apple logo on the page to open Apple's AR viewer, which allows you to scan the area around you and see the animated logo in action. You can also view it in object mode to get a clearer picture of what it looks like. And now, we wait for 5 or 6 days. The peak performance event is scheduled for Tuesday, the 8th of March at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. Other times, other places, consult your local star chart. The event will be streamed on Apple's event site. The company has also put up a placeholder image on the YouTube. As Mountain View goes, so goes Cupertino. CNBC says search and advertising giant Google is calling workers back to the office. According to the report, Google said it will end the voluntary work-from-home period and start having employees in the Bay Area and several other U.S. locations return to the office starting the week of the 4th of April. The report had John Casey, Google VP of Global Benefits, saying in an email to employees, "It's been a long and challenging 2 years since the vast majority of our people started working from home, but the advances in prevention and treatment, the steady decline in cases that we continue to see, and the improved safety measures we have implemented across our Bay Area sites now mean that we can officially begin the transition to the hybrid work week." The company is anticipating having folks in the office 3 days a week and working from home for 2. Now, Apple tried to bring people back to the office in some capacity last summer. That was met with resistance. Return plans were shelved indefinitely last December as the world met the rise of the Omicron variant. One can't help wondering whether it will follow Google's suit soon. With global sanctions and no more supply headed their way, the price of Apple gear in Russia has gone insane. We heard yesterday that Apple has stopped sales of items in Russia. It also stopped supplying authorized resellers with stuff to sell. Now a piece from iMore says remaining inventory is going through the roof. The piece has the Russian outlet iPhones.ru saying, sometime after Apple's announcement of the temporary suspension of sales of its equipment in Russia, non-chain stores and individual sellers sharply raised prices. According to iMore, the cheapest iPhone 13, the Mini, was selling for more than $800 US on Wednesday. Apple Watch Series 7 units were selling for over $1,700. A 1 terabyte iPhone 13 Pro Max was going for $2,700. The high-end M1 iPad Pro was over $3,000, and Apple's most expensive MacBook Pro was nearing a price of $10,000. With no new hardware coming in, Apple's largest authorized reseller in Russia has closed its doors. Officially, the closure is temporary, though it's kind of hard to see how that could be. Another piece from iMore says Restore has locked the doors on its 1 store in Prague, its 1 store in Kyiv, and its 42 stores in Russia. As recently as last week, Restore sold Apple's entire range of products, including the latest iPhones, iPads, Apple Watches, and Macs. It also sold gadgets and accessories made by companies other than Apple, so I guess that could happen again. iMore has Restore saying in a statement, The decision to close Restore stores today is temporary and is caused by the need to assess the current situation on the market. In the near future, the stores will continue their work as usual. A question from the land that brought you freedom fries. Does it make one feel better or worse to know that no matter where you go, you'll find at least some of the same types of idiots as the place you left? William Gallagher at Apple Insider has written an editorial about a video that was digitally smuggled out of Russia. Okay, that makes it sound a bit more cloak and dagger than it probably was. Francis Scar posted the video to Twitter. Scar's Twitter bio puts him in Moscow with BBC monitoring, watching Russian state TV so you don't have to. The video he posted has some middle-aged Russian-speaking dude beating an iPad with a hammer. He's apparently protesting punishing sanctions leveled against Russia as Russia tries to level Ukraine. According to Scar, the guy in the video says, "Here's our response to American sanctions. We don't fear you. We'll live without your nice, pretty things." This as he destroys the iPad, then hands the hammer to a kid who takes a whack at the iPad as well. Gallagher points out that the kid, who looks to be about 10, is younger than the iPad they're beating up. Also, the older of the two cut himself on the iPad's shattered screen. Also, beating up on the tablet's battery could seriously cause a fire. Also, his posture and body language make him look like one of the 8 people in the first part of 2001: A Space Odyssey, only not quite as evolved. Performative crap. More news in a moment, but first a word from Notion. One workspace for your whole team. How many good jobs are undone by bad communication? I know it's happened to me. One person says one thing, another says something else. No one has a clear idea of where we're headed. A friend just quit her job last week. 5 other people gave their notice the same week. This was not coordinated. It was just a bunch of people tired of one person saying one thing, another saying something else, and no one having a clear idea of where they were headed. I cannot guarantee that Notion would have fixed that, but it might have helped. Notion lets you organize your company's information and manage projects all in one place, putting everybody on the same page. One person says one thing, it ends up in Notion. Another says another, it ends up in Notion. And everybody has a clear idea of where they're headed. With hundreds of integrated apps, including Google and Slack, the tools you're already using are probably ready for Notion. You're not reinventing the wheel. You're just making it run smoothly and work better for you. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. You can check it out on your own and invite as many folks as you want to see how it works. Take the first step towards an organized, happy team today, again, at notion.so. Apple Maps has turned on some features for France. Apple Insider says Cupertino's answer to cartography will now let users report hazards and accidents in that country. What they cannot report is speed zones. That feature is prohibited in France, according to the report. If you're bummed that you never got a Pill Plus speaker from Beats, you've got another chance. After discontinuing the device in mid-January, a piece from Engadget says the standalone speaker is back in a special edition. According to the report, Apple subsidiary Beats has partnered with the street fashion label Stüssy on a limited edition unit. No pills, no pluses. The revived model is called Stüssy and Beats by Dr. Dre. Except for the name and the design, the device is the same as the discontinued version. As for cost, despite the special edition nature and the fashionable brand on top of the fashionable brand, it actually sails in at a lower price. Engadget says the speaker will be available to order through Stüssy's website for $185 starting tomorrow, the 4th of March at 1 p.m. Eastern. That is less than the Pill Plus speaker's original price of $230. If you hate to see the Afterparty end, take heart. Ahead of the Season 1 finale this Friday, Apple TV Plus issued a press release Wednesday saying a second season has been ordered. In case you've forgotten, the Cupertino streamer says the Afterparty is a genre-defying series centered on a murder mystery at a high school reunion. Each episode explores a different character's account of the fateful evening in question, all through the lens of popular film genres and unique visuals to match the storyteller's perspective. One assumes that the case at the center of the first season will be solved with Friday's finale. Apple says in the episode, Maggie, an unexpected witness, will emerge to help Detective Danner piece together the true story behind Xavier's demise. As for next season, all Apple has said about Season 2 is that there will be one, and that Detective Danner, played by Tiffany Haddish, will be back on the case. I must confess, most of what I had heard about the upcoming Apple TV Plus series Slow Horses left me a bit flat. It looked like a dark, dreary spy thriller. Personally, I'm fine with a little less dark and dreary and #these times in which we live. That is what's great about trailers. Apple released one for the show on Wednesday, and the show looks great. Dark and dreary is built in, but the show looks funny. Anyway, Gary Oldman is funny in it. According to a piece from the Mac Observer, Slow Horses is a humorous espionage drama that follows a dysfunctional team of British intelligence agents who serve in a dumping ground department of MI5 known unaffectionately as Slough House. Mr. Oldman stars as Jackson Lamb, the leader of the spies. He seems to care, and he really seems to wish he didn't. Kristen Scott Thomas also stars, with a turn from Jonathan Pryce as well. The first 2 episodes hit Apple TV Plus on Friday, the 1st of April. Others will follow, one at a time for the next 4 Fridays for a total of 6 episodes. Between now and then, you can catch the trailer on YouTube. And finally today, when I started the show joking about the big news for next Tuesday being an Apple Watch activity challenge, I was of course joking about that being the big news, but it is actually a thing that's happening. Next Tuesday, the 8th of March, is International Women's Day, and Apple is marking it with exercise. Actually, you're supposed to mark it with exercise. Apple will mark that by giving you some imitation doodads. Mac Rumors brings us word of the challenge. It's got Apple saying March 8th is a day to celebrate women around the world. Earn this award by doing any workout for 20 minutes or more. Record your time with the workout app or any app that adds workouts to health. Do so and you get a virtual medallion. You also get a bunch of animated stickers to stick in messages to send to friends or family or whoever you send messages to. macOS Ken, brought to you by me and sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/macOSKen. This show is also sponsored by Notion, one workspace for your whole team. Learn more and get started for free at notion.so. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media. Online at backbeatmedia.com. You can reach me a couple of ways. Info at macosken.com or call 716-780-4080. Until next time, that is news from macOS Ken. I'm Ken Ray.
Ciao.